All right, guys, we're back in my garage for another episode of the B58 Digest. If you're new to the channel, I use these videos to help keep you updated on the latest developments in the B58 community. So if that's something that you're interested in, be sure to subscribe to the channel. There will be a lot more of these videos coming out in the future. So today we're going to be talking about the new Performance Fueling Solutions low pressure fuel pump upgrade. And this is a pretty big deal because they have a unique way of going about this upgrade to try to make it simpler for the end users. So basically, if you want more information, check out the link down in the description. It'll have a link to their product page on their website. And also, if you guys pay attention to some of their social media posts, you'll see that they are partnering with Vargas, and Vargas has been testing out their parts on their A90 Supra. So you can see a lot of information on their page, and I'll also have a link to their product page on the Vargas website as well. So basically, the way that this low pressure fuel pump works is it's a drop-in upgrade for the OEM low pressure fuel pump. So what they've done is basically taken out the OEM brushless fuel pump and replaced it with a higher flowing one. And this pump is designed to work with the OEM calibration and fuel pump controller so that it thinks that it's the exact same pump as stock, just with a lot more flow. So this is really convenient because if you guys look at the other low pressure fuel pumps on the market, they all pretty much have a dual pump setup either inside the basket or outside the basket, and requires additional triggers or controllers in order for that second fuel pump to come on. So it's not really ideal. It's something that we've obviously gotten by with for a while, but having something that's controlled just like an OEM pump makes it a lot simpler and easier to use without having to worry about additional controllers and wiring and things like that complicating your setup. Now, this sort of setup is very rare because it requires a lot of testing to make sure that it works with the OEM calibration and making it really plug and play. So PFS went through the work of finding a pump that would work with our calibration. And if you guys check way back, they've actually released one for the Supra and G Series cars a little while ago. And so now this is their release for the Gen 1 B58. It actually uses the same physical pump. They're just putting it into a basket design that fits into our vehicles. Now, I'm going to be making another video later on to kind of give more information about low pressure fuel pump upgrades, because I know a lot of people were asking me if this is something that they need or if this is something that's important to upgrade. But suffice it to say, unless you have port injection, then you're not really going to need a low pressure fuel pump upgrade. However, this one does flow more than stock. The stock one seems to support upwards of 650 to 700 wheel horsepower, depending on how much ethanol you're running. And this pump can run between 800 to 1,000 wheel horsepower, again, depending on how much ethanol you're running. I think it's really nice that they put that detail in there, just for transparency, because obviously with ethanol, it's going to have a lower threshold for how much horsepower it can support. But if you're going to be running really high octane, race gas, and different fuels that are designed for high horsepower applications, then you can take advantage of that higher octane and run higher horsepower. The fuel flow also depends on voltage as well as fuel pressure, and they've got a chart on their website that kind of breaks down how much fuel flow you can expect depending on the parameters that you're running, and your tuner can actually take advantage of this to optimize the fuel flow depending on your setup and how much fuel you actually need. Now, as far as pricing is concerned, it is a little bit on the high end, but keep in mind this is the first of its kind for our cars, and it's kind of a unique setup that keeps it a lot more simple, so that's kind of the main attraction to this. Even though it doesn't flow as much as some of the other fuel pump options, you can always add a second fuel pump onto the basket, and that will add even more flow on top of what the other options are able to offer. So you'll see that there are 3 different choices on their website. The first one, of course, is that you can get a brand new pump that they'll install the upgraded brushless pump and send it to you, or you can do a core charge, which means you can either buy their pump and then get a refund when you send yours back, or you can send yours first and they will rebuild it and send it back to you at a cheaper cost. So depending on, your budget and what your actual timeline is, you can pick whichever option works best, and then they'll get you a pump. So yeah, I think it's just really cool to see this come out. This actually motivated me to look up low pressure fuel pump upgrades a lot more, and that's why I wanted to go ahead and make a video for you guys. So again, keep an eye out for that if you're curious about what low pressure fuel pump upgrades do for you and when it's actually needed. So a big shout out to PFS for going through the extra legwork to make this happen. Hopefully we can see this kind of help simplify a lot of people's setups, especially if you're not looking for more than like 800 to 900 horsepower with ethanol or an ethanol mix. This is probably one of the simpler and easier setups that you can go with. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope this helps. And if you have any other questions or comments, leave them down below.